Welcome back to this channel. In this tutorial we're going to discuss about the flares. It is a continuation of what we had discussed earlier, and this time we're going to discuss 180-degree flare, 360-degree flare, 720-degree flare, how to achieve each of this. Remember, previously we had discussed 90-degree flare, and we said that in calculating 90-degree flare, we have the circumference divided by 1.57, and that will give us the radius of the flare. In 180-degree flare, we have the circumference divided by 3.14. So we have it circumference, whatever circumference you have, divided by 3.14. And in 360-degree, we have the circumference divided by 6.28, and in achieving 720-degree, we have the circumference divided by 2/8 into 2 places. That means you actually divide the circumference by 2 and then put it into 2 places. Then, as usual, you have to place your perpendicular lines and make sure that your fabric is unfolded. In 90-degree flare, your fabric will not be unfolded, but in 180-degree flare, ensure that your fabric is unfolded. Then after the calculations, make sure that you place whatsoever you have at the top folded edge of your fabric, and in doing so, this will help you to achieve your 180-degree flare. Then in 360-degree flare, you take the same procedure. Let us take our circumference to be 15 inches in this tutorial. 15 inches as is the waist circumference. Remember, the circumference divided by 3.14, which is 15 divided by 3.14 is equals to 4.7. That is what we have as the radius of our flare. So when you have 4.7, all you need to do is to go to the 0 point of the axis, both of the axes, and mark 4.7 from that 0 point round the axis, round the arc of the perpendicular lines. So you mark 4.7 as usual, just as we demonstrated in the previous tutorial. And after getting your arc, make sure you confirm that whatsoever you have as the arc is half of your waist circumference. So after that, you consider the length of the flare, which we take as to be 10 inches. Then the 10 inches plus the 4.7 inches is going to give us 14.7 inches. Then you need to calculate the same way, 14.7 inches, placing your tape from the 0 point to 14.7 inches. Mark it round. When you have marked your second round, make sure that you form an arc the same way you did in the first arc that you formed. Place 14.7 round the arc as you have seen in the illustration. And when you are making your points, make sure that your tape do not leave the 0 point. It is constant there. The only point that will keep rotating is the 14.7. Then make sure you smoothen your lines as you have seen. Then after which, all you need to do is to consider if you're going to add any allowance, you add to it, but make sure that one part of your fabric is unfolded. Thereafter, to confirm if your waist circumference is truly okay, you need to divide the circumference by 2 and then check the first arc as you've seen. If it is up to half of the waist circumference, know that you are on point. Then when you've done all those things, you can go ahead and add your allowances, starting from your waist circumference. If you want to add the joining allowance to the flare, just go right to the top of it and add the allowance. And for the hemming allowance, you go right under to the bigger flare, to the bigger arc to form that allowance. Then for the joining allowance at the waist, you go up to the smaller arc and add the joining allowance to the flare. That is 180-degree flare. Then for a 360-degree flare, you also divide your circumference into 6.28. Thereafter, you add your allowances and make sure that both ends of your fabric are on fold, just as you have seen there. The both ends of the fabrics should be on fold. That means you're going to double fold your fabric, as you have seen illustration down there. After folding it, make sure you place it just the way it is. You are putting your tape around the axis where you have placed the previous one. I hope you're understanding it. Then you mark as you had done in the 180-degree flare and in the 90-degree flare. So for the 720-degree flare, you still follow the same procedure, but before then you have to divide your circumference into two. Remember that the 360-degree flare is the highest degree that we have. So to achieve 720-degree, you are just going to simply cut your flare into two and divide your waist circumference into two before you do the 360-degree calculation. Then that will give you what you need as your 720-degree flare. And for 1440-degree flare, you use your circumference by 4. So thank you very much for staying tuned. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Bye bye for now.